fidelity or it's financial. And because I think that a lot of women, unfortunately, women who don't know themselves very well, who are immature, who are not fully ready for marriage, they go into it with these unrealistic financial expectations. I mean, fidelity is one thing. I mean, that's kind of cut and dry. You cheat, you cheat. You don't, you don't. But financial reasons come from a lot of things. Either the man could be irresponsible, or he could be making a lot of money but not making enough money for her, or she's got these unrealistic expectations about what she thinks that her husband is supposed to provide, while she is not being a significant contributor financially to the situation. Or she may have some unrealistic expectations about marriage in general, to where she feels like, well, I should be able to stay home and chill, and you take care of every single bill. Which, in this day and age, I think it's a little bit unrealistic to expect, unless the man is very, very well paid. It's unrealistic to expect one person to be the sole breadwinner and take
Right.
care of all the things. And
Yeah.
as a woman, I think if you go into a marriage thinking that, oh, he's my husband, so he's supposed to provide everything, and then whatever I make is for me to spend on whatever I want, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
You know who fuels that? The single women friend of the married woman fuels that mentality.
Right.
Women keep other women single. Let's just
If
be
you don't have
clear.
good friends, if you don't have good friends, I'm definitely not that friend, because I will be the one to counsel
I'm
you
just
in the
saying
opposite.
it
You're
happens.
not being realistic there.
There's
Yeah, I
always
mean, I agree.
there's,
I agree.
there's always
I
a
agree.
single friend buzzing
The,
around with
the,
some bad
the single
advice,
With some
girl,
bad,
look, you don't
bad
need
advice.
him. Like he ain't.
buzzing around
You know
like
what
a
I mean?
bee.
Like that friend
You're right
who
about that.
that's always encouraging you to leave your relationship. Like that. That's the friend to watch. You know what I mean? Like really.
Yes, yes, yes,
With
yes, yes.
Well, 70% is a high number. I have my theory. Okay.
Real quick, if I could add something, I just thought about now. I believe I had heard this at some point, that one of the reasons why women typically file for divorce first is because the men just don't want to. They don't feel like doing it, like going through that process. They're like, oh, okay, I got to call a lawyer.
No,
I gotta do all this. I gotta file all this paperwork.
no,
Men tend to procrastinate on those things a little bit more than women. So
twin, you are 1,000% right. Because I was definitely gonna say that. It's like there's other reasons, but logistically, like we just don't. The only way I think a man is gonna be proactive about it is if he got another woman he wants to marry waiting, and he wants to be done with this one to go to that one. But typically, man,
I
logistically, we don't. You know what I'm saying? We're not proactive. But I'm gonna let you cook B. That's just the shallow part. But I think also
yeah.
too, as men, and I said this before, that we will tend to stay in something that's a little dysfunctional longer than I think than women. I think women are definitive about making a decision to end the relationship versus men. I think that goes even in just quote unquote non-marriages, even relationships. Men don't typically be like, unless he got another woman waiting. He typically is not like, I think we need to sit down, we need to talk. When anytime you hear we need to talk, that's usually coming from a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And that final talk is usually initiated by a woman. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's part of it. And obviously, there's other reasons, but I'm gonna let B go ahead, y'all, B and Zell, because I know y'all are probably gonna say some of the things I was also gonna say in addition.
Uh, I think men. I think women don't understand men's ability to tough out tough situations. We will literally we'll swallow it. We'll deal with it. Pause. We'll deal with what we have to deal with. You know what I mean? Like we'll pull up after a long day where it's sit in the car for a minute just to get our mind right to go into the house to deal with what's in the house. But we'll deal with it. I think oftentimes women. I mentioned peaks and valleys earlier. I think oftentimes when things start to go bad and we hit a rough patch, women are quick to bail, versus men will, in a lot of situations, tough through it. And I think a lot of that comes from encouragement from outside sources. I think other women, this is my personal opinion, I think other women can encourage or sway certain women from their relationship and their foundation. So listen to friends is what I'm saying. And friends will say, "Hey, this is happening. You don't need him. Leave him." Or you know, what I mean, it's just I think it's a lot of outside factors. I think that contribute to that. But as men, we can tough through some stuff. We'll deal with some stuff, but we just not going up and leave unless it's something really extenuating happening.
Right.
We'll
Right.
deal with it, but I just don't think women are as willing to fight through the. And I'm not saying women don't. There's to Gina's point, there are women who tolerate all kind of what I mean infidelity, and I gave this man chance after chance after chance before leaving. I'm not
Hmm.
saying that's okay, but there are women who do it. So women do have a tolerance, but I'm just saying that on overall, I think women are more likely to bail and jump ship when things go bad. If you actually look at the rate of not just straight marriages, look at gay marriages and then lesbian marriages. The lesbian marriages are high too, and the gay marriages are low. Lesbian marriages are not based, they're not divorcing because of male infidelity. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just that. It's women who say, hey, I need to get out of this situation for whatever their reason are. That's why I'm saying the infidelity thing happens, but not at 70%. It's not
No,
always
B,
just those
you're
things.
you're and Zell, I'm going to cut you. I'm going to say this one thing on B's point.
No, go ahead.
That is such a great point because I think that's. I'm not blaming all women. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying that women have changed, and that is. I was going to say that, but I'm glad you said it, B, because you. I knew you were going to lay it out. I knew it was coming.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
thing is that emotionally, and again, I'm not saying all women. I think emotionally, a lot of women are not built to deal in marriage the way they used to be because you're not always going to be happy. That's one of the biggest things. I forgot the saying, but
Along with the
and
perception of options. You think you have more options out there.
well, oh man, that's a whole man. Look, I'm not gonna go on and on. That's another one. Don't get me started.
Oh,
But that
that.
that
It's
one.
the
I
combination of
think
those.
we
But
got to
wait,
look at the generation that you're talking about
no, you're right.
because
You're right. That's
our
one. I'm
generation
not saying all, but I am
is a
saying that
different generation.
the
You know,
idea.
we come from the generation of sticking it out, come hell or high water, we
Not
gonna
if
be
you Tia
miserable till
Mowry.
death, huh?
Not if you Tia Mowry. Didn't she divorce Corey because she
Right.
wanted to go find happiness? She wanted. She didn't. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? Like it's happening in people.
CB,
Hmm?
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. See, you're absolutely right. So I'm gonna say these two things, and I'm gonna step back. One is that the idea of I'm not gonna be happy all the time, or being okay with the fact that I won't be happy all the time, is hard for the new age woman to deal with.
Yeah.
That's one. Very hard for them. And B, to your point, men can deal with being quote unquote unhappy, I think, a little longer than a woman can be quote unquote unhappy. It's not that the man did anything, it's just that you're not always going to be
Not
happy
gonna
in
be on
your
the same page all the
relationship. It's
time,
just
right?
the way it
Yep.
is. So that's one. Two, I think that the idea of options, this idea of options, that's a whole nother topic, but I do think that there is an idea. I mean, I'm going to just lay this out here and I'm going to step back. So you have people like, I don't even want to do this, but Vivica Fox and Lisa Ray, all these older women. Look, I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with being single, but this idea that you have all these same options at 30 that you have at 60, oh my God.
Right.
These women nowadays, they really believe it. And I'm like, dude, nowhere in the world does that make sense. Even men know that, oh, okay, I don't have all the same options that I had at one point.
Yep.
But particularly as a woman, like, you're 60. you need to just find a person, man. Stop this. I got all these
Yeah.
options, and it's not gonna happen, bro. Like,
You just
it's
need to
not
find
gonna
somebody
happen.
go sit down
There's
somewhere.
somebody that wants you, but you talking about, Vivica was like, oh, I'm taking applications for partners. Like, you are way past that stage. So that just, I don't want to go on and on about that, but that mentality is pervasive in younger women or women in general, that I got all these options and I can leave whoever I'm with, and I'm going to find somebody, but you'll always
That's for
find
sure.
another person to give you some attention.
Right.
But the difference between someone who give you some attention or will have sex with you is a far distance from a man who wants to marry you
Right.
and be with you
Right.
and listen to all your stuff and deal with all your emotions and all of that.
Yep.
So anyway, I digress.